Can I get comfortable? Hi, I'm JJ, and I'm trying to write things. I'm trying to get comfortable in this chair as well, and my hair is rebelling against the universe and it's pissing me off. So, as I said in the last video, which was also the very first video, first and last. So profound! So profound! But I digress. I am a fanfic writer. I am a fanfic reader. I have been deeply entrenched in fandom culture since I was like 12. Yeah, and I was 18 when I was 12, and I was in some online spaces I shouldn't have been in, and I don't recommend that to you if you are 12. You should not be 18 on the internet. You are 12. Stay 12. Stay 12. You will miss it. But once again, I digress. My freaking hair, oh my god! But before I joined the professional writing community, I was kind of on the outside looking in, because I always had the thought in the back of my mind, maybe I'll write something original one day, and maybe I will get published one of these days, I don't know. And I followed a lot of people on social media that were published authors, that did, write things that, professional things, not fanfic. And I also followed a lot of writing tip blogs because, if it helps professionals, maybe it could help me too. So I knew a little bit about the community, knew a little bit about how it worked. I knew about NaNoWriMo. I didn't know about Camp Nano until I started really working on looking into publishing, actually writing a novel. But being on the outside looking in is completely different than actually being in it, and not just dipping your toes into it, but splashing right into the pool of the professional writing community. And because I knew a little bit, I knew that the culture was different. I knew that the community behaved differently. I knew that it was a completely different dynamic, both as an individual writing and as being a part of a writing community. I knew the dynamic was different. But knowing something and understanding something are two completely different things. And I have realized a lot of differences, both in the practice of writing and in the community, that are a lot different from fandom culture versus the professional writing community. So that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about today, the differences between these two communities that I've got on either side of me, that I'm kind of like in a Venn diagram of professional writing community, fanfic community. I'm like I'm in the intersection there. So there are similarities also. And a lot of these similarities correlate to these differences, kind of like character traits. You have a character has a strength, but that strength also correlates with a character weakness. And we might talk about that, how strengths and weaknesses correlate to each other in a future video. That would be fun! But anyway, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about fandom culture versus professional writing community. The first one is a very general term, and a lot of these points will kind of be offshoots of this main point, is, of course, community. You have all these people from, different countries, different cultures, different ethnicities, races, backgrounds, classes, everything, all coming together because of a common thing. In fandom, that common thing is we all like this thing. We all like this movie. We all like this book. We all like this TV show, this video game, this whatever that fandom is. We are all different in a myriad wonderful ways, but we all like this thing, and this connects us, and this makes us one community. And it's beautiful. I'm tearing up because actually, no, I'm tearing up because of my allergies. But you have that with the professional writing community as well. You have all these different people who have all these different interests, who are writing about all these different things, but they all have one thing in common. They're all writing. They all write, and they all want to become better writers. They all want to become good, professional, real writers. And some of them are. Some of these people are prolific authors that have been published multiple times. Some of these people are traditionally published. Some of them are self-published. Some of them are hybrids. Some of them, are like me, who are just getting into this, who want to learn more, and who are looking to these people who have these more experiences and have never published anything but are working towards that goal. That's the similarity. The difference is sort of in the tone, I guess, of the community, where you have fandom culture, which is basically one big fan con online. It's a bunch of, it's a party, it's a bunch of friends, it's a very casual atmosphere. You have contests, and you have events, and you have deadlines for those things should you choose to enter them. In the professional writing community, the key word here is professional. These people are professionals or seeking to become professionals. So although you do have that interaction, and you have all those good things that that fandom culture does, there is an air of, this is taken very seriously. If you're in this community, you're not doing this as a hobby anymore. You are seeking to make this your career. You are seeking to make this your job. You are doing this professionally. And so there's a lot of just immature BS that is wonderful in fan culture that does not fly in the professional writing community. Another thing that is very similar is the giving and receiving of feedback. You get with critique partners. You recruit beta readers once your manuscript is finished. You're trading off manuscripts and trading off, constructive criticism. At least in the professional writing community, that's what you're doing. In fanfiction community, of course, you're posting your stuff on Tumblr or on Twitter or on AO3 or on fanfiction.net, whatever your platform is. Sometimes multiple platforms to expand your readership, like I do. And people, comment on that, and you get fic recs, and you comment on other people's stuff, and it's great. The difference, you're getting feedback on your work in both communities. The difference is how and when that feedback is solicited and given. It used to be in fandom culture, and I miss these days, and the fact that the climate has shifted really makes me sad. In fandom community, it used to be expected that people would leave concrete, constructive criticism. But I don't know when, and I don't know how the climate shifted. But now, in fandom culture, if what you have to say is not exclusively glowing praise and just complete, just mindless keyboard smashing of, I love this so much, oh my god, then it's bad. You can't say, in this part, this could have been done better. No, and at that point, you're a hater, you're an anti, you get blocked immediately if you leave unsolicited criticism. And criticism is hardly ever solicited. And I understand that these people are doing this as a hobby. These are hobbyists, they are not professionals. So they're doing it for the fun of it. And they're putting their stuff out there for free, out of passion. Pure passion. But still, like, nobody helps each other anymore with their writing, and that it makes me sad with fandom culture, with fanfic culture, that climate has shifted. It really, like, because I want to become, I've always, even it was just in the back of my mind, always wanted to someday become published, and I've wanted to improve my writing. So even when I do solicit criticism and say, hey, concrete welcome, I don't receive it because people are afraid to leave it because of this climate that we have that says anything that you say that is not glowing praise is hate, and everyone will hate you if you do not say perfect glowing things about this work. But in the professional writing community, if your critique partner has nothing negative to say about your book, then it's time to find a new critique partner, because that's what critique partners are for. Critique, that's the operative word here. You get constructive criticism, you get things that are meant to help you better your work, and that's what you want. That's the purpose of critique partners and beta readers and editors. That's their entire purpose. So glowing praise is not only, not to be expected, it's going to be frowned upon. Another thing that's different about how and when critique is received is this is how it goes when you are writing a multi-chapter fanfiction from someone who has written multiple. You write a chapter. You post that chapter. It is essentially published. People comment on that chapter. You write another chapter. You post that chapter. Do you see where I'm going with this? You post chapter by chapter, which means there's no content edits. There's no, going back and revising plot points and character arcs. There's none of that. You're essentially publishing a first draft, and in fan fiction, that works. That is how it's done. That's what's expected. In professional writing, no. You write your whole thing, and then it goes to critique. Which means you don't get that chapter by chapter as you are writing, that real-time feedback. You don't get that. And that's something that I am struggling to wrap my head around, is the fact that I just wrote this chapter. I just finished this chapter. It's amazing. Now where do I put it? You don't put it anywhere. You put it back in your work file, and you write the second chapter with no one in the entire world having read your first chapter. And it kind of sucks. And it's going to take a lot of getting used to for me. Yeah, this video is already longer than I intended it to be. So, maybe a part 2 down the line? Maybe? I don't know. But that's all I have for now. Those are some of the similarities and differences that I have personally known and experienced between fandom culture and the professional writing community. If you've got any more of them, if anybody is even watching this, if anybody in the entire world sees this video and you have comments, there is a little box down below where the video plays that you type stuff in. Type stuff in it and talk to me, because I am a whore for validation. Please. Anyway, that's all for today. I don't have a proper outro yet. This is only my second video, so bye, I guess.